the Alabama Department of Corrections has been stealing inmate organs. I'm prepared for you for commentary purposes. A CNN interview with Isabel Rosales. You're not going to believe this, what the Alabama Department of Corrections has been doing with inmates' organs, inmates that die. This is not right, y'all. This is really crazy. Like, what if it was your family?
It was a funeral home that first alerted Sarah Kennedy something was wrong with the body of her brother-in-law, who died while imprisoned.
They said, "Did y'all realize he came back without his organs?" And I'm like, what do you mean, came back without his organs?
The funeral director told Sarah everything was missing inside Jim Kennedy Jr.'s body. Everything but his eyes.
Liver, heart, all of your major organs, they were gone.
She says those organs were taken without the knowledge or permission of Marvin Kennedy, Kennedy Jr.'s brother and legal representative.
But yet they made the decisions for you, or represented you without your permission.
Sarah repeatedly tried to contact the prison and the University of Alabama at Birmingham, which is among the providers that conducts autopsies for the prison system.
I had a lot of questions. But no answers.
Eventually, she says she spoke over the phone with someone who identified himself as an autopsy department supervisor for the university, and she secretly recorded that conversation.
We've never had this request done before.
To have the organs back?
Yeah,
Well, who buries somebody without their organs?
Well, we do it all the time. Because
we don't want to do it for our religious preference. We don't want to do that.
Now, I will tell you this, is that UAB is a teaching institution, and any teaching institution that does autopsies keeps their organs.
Well, we did not, and Junior did not want that. We have not agreed with the prison for his body to be turned over for no study, and we want those organs back.
5 months after Kennedy Jr.'s death, Billy Stapler made his own alarming discovery.
It's just insane. It's like a horror movie that I can't wake up from.
The private pathologist he hired to perform an autopsy on his father, Arthur Stapler, was unable to perform it.
She said he had an empty cavity. There was nothing there.
Stapler says he held the power of attorney for his father and never authorized the removal or retention of the organs.
I just want him to be whole again.
Stapler says he spoke with the same UAB supervisor. Eventually, his private pathologist received what was said to be his father's brain and heart back. But some organs, like his lungs, came back in pieces. The rest were gone.
And I'm asking, where's the rest of his organs? And he tells me that they possibly got thrown away. And I'm like, how do you throw away organs? Why did you even take them out of him?
Funeral experts tell CNN after an autopsy, organs are normally put in a bag and placed back inside the body. But that's not what happened in the case of these 7 inmates. The families of 5 of them now suing the Alabama Department of Corrections and UAB. The university conducted the autopsies for all the inmates but one, says attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano. She tells CNN the families insist none of them were organ donors. So how in the world did this all happen without family consent? The Alabama Department of Corrections tells CNN it does not comment on pending litigation, nor does it authorize or perform autopsies. But UAB tells CNN ADOC does approve them and says it's ADOC's responsibility to get family approval. What do you think is your most damning piece of evidence?
The contract between the Department of Corrections and UAB is just about all the evidence we need to show that illegal activity is happening. That contract shows these parties empowering a warden to make a decision about taking out organs and keeping them from loved ones. The law directly contradicts that position. The law says very clearly a warden does not have that right.
CNN reached out to the Alabama legislature for clarity. A legislative attorney saying in a memo, a warden has no legal authority to approve an autopsy, and their agreement may be illegal. And just what happened to those organs? UAB told CNN in a statement, in some cases, their pathologists keep organs for further testing to come to an accurate cause of death. Ferrano claims the organs serve another purpose at the school.
Right now, we have concrete evidence that the students are using some of these organs for training in medical school.
A group of 13 UAB medical students questioned the ethics of the school's retention of some inmate organs without consent as far back as 2018. They wrote this letter to school administrators, saying in part, Our concern is not with the practice of autopsy, but with the process of consent for the retention and use of tissue samples. Two of those former medical students tell CNN their instructors acknowledged that many of their teaching samples came from inmates because inmates tend to have more developed disease, easier to see and learn from. The students agreed to speak on the condition of anonymity, fearing career repercussions, one saying, "It's plainly and obviously wrong. There is no understanding of medical ethics in which this is permissible." UAB accused the student whistleblowers of inaccuracies in a statement to CNN, something the students deny. Despite the accounts from former students, the university tells CNN it does not use inmate organs to teach medical students. So we went back to them and asked, "Have you ever?" showing them their own report from 2018 that states they do. But UAB refused to answer. For the families, left frustrated and without answers, nothing short of accountability and policy changes can make them whole.
What made it right for them to just go ahead and just give away a person to somebody else and say, here, you can play with this person's body like that?
The attorney to the families, Lauren Ferrano, tells me at least 2 more lawsuits are being prepared. And Abby, back in 2021, an Alabama law was passed that requires medical examiners to notify next of kin if they will retain someone's organs to determine identification or the cause or manner of death. It also requires next of kin approval to keep organs for, quote, research or other purposes. Ferrano will be leaning heavily on that law in court.